Thank you so much. Welcome to Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmasters club for leadership development. We are one of the top 5 clubs globally. My name is Baron Ochola Oyematum, and I am your sergeant at arms for today's meeting. And I am going to start our meeting by reading the club mission. If you have it with you, you can recite it as well, but I will read it, so no need to unmute yourself. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. The Leadership Speak leadership statement. Leadership Speak is the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything we do. Our timer has a virtual hand raised so we all can immediately see who is keeping the time. Timer, please put your virtual hand up. Perfect. Timer, Sandra Vox there. Thank you so much. At this point, I would like to introduce our Toastmaster of the Day. Our Toastmaster of the Day joined to Leadership Speak to improve her leadership skills, evaluations, and practice delivering impactful, powerful speeches that run in length from 20 to 30 minutes. Those are keynote speeches. And she did this as we emerged of COVID-19 as her way of improvement. Since joining Leadership Speak, she has been afforded opportunities to be creative and create a vision for the future. Our Toastmaster of the Day is somebody who likes to create a vision for the future, and that is none other than, join me, put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Vivian Robinson. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much for that very generous introduction, fellow Toastmasters, and to our guests. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, and welcome to Leadership Speaks. Fellow Toastmasters, as I think about being a creative leader, I think about electricity and those bolts and those vibes that come from the electricity. Can you imagine, if you think with me, as you hear the sound that goes pop, sometimes they explode, the colors of blue and yellow, and they're very vibrant, and they recreate themselves. That's the way I envision creative leadership. Those are leaders who see visions, who don't do things the same way, who seek out and see those things that are in other people that can be developed and nurtured and created so that those people excel in whatever field they'd like to excel. Creative leaders embrace, they support, they believe in risk-taking, they believe in nurturing that creates a peace in people. They are not smotherers. They, however, pick up that creative vibe that they see. And as they pick it up, they help it to pop and to explode and to recreate so that the persons that they're leading move forward with success. Creative leaders also look to the future and the way things should be done differently, different ways of doing things. And they seek out those persons who want to and who have those creative abilities. And we all have those creative leadership abilities. Some have been nurtured and created and kind of watered and fertilized and done all those things. But the creativeness in leadership identifies leaders who see the creative abilities in others and who nurture that and who support that and who encourage and work with those persons to pull out the very best. I'm reminded of a leader I had, or a mentor I had at one time, who said to me, we don't all have to walk in a straight line together. We can walk left, we can walk right, we can walk backwards. The key is that we all get to the goal. And in Leadership Speaks, we have been given the opportunity to explore our creativity, to lead creatively, and also to create that vision for others as we move further into the future. Fellow Toastmasters, welcome to this morning's meeting, and we will move forward as outlined in our agenda. I do have helpers to make sure that the team moves smoothly this morning. And the first part of the team this morning I'd like to introduce is Sabnam and please excuse me if I don't pronounce your name correctly. I'm doing my very best with names today. To raise the toast, Toastmaster Sabnam Saiyed, would you please raise the toast for us? Thank you.
Dear fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, good morning. Toastmasters is not just about mastering the art of public speaking. It's about developing leaders who are creative, innovative, and capable of inspiring others to reach their full potential. Creative leadership is at the heart of what makes Toastmasters a transformative experience. Creative leaders in Toastmasters are the ones who envision new paths for personal and professional growth. They are the driving force behind club meetings that are engaging, educational, and entertaining. They are the individuals who use their creativity to design innovative speeches, captivating themes, and memorable meetings that leave a lasting impact on their fellow Toastmasters. These leaders encourage others to step out of their comfort zone, take risks, and unleash their own creative potential. May we all be inspired by their example and strive to be creative leaders in our own Toastmasters journey and in all aspects of our lives. What can be done to become creative leaders? Well, I think for being creative, it is necessary to 1. Embrace a growth mindset. A growth mindset is essential for creative leadership. Believe in your own ability to learn and adapt. Be open to new experiences and challenges. Second is practice creative techniques. Learn and apply various creative techniques such as brainstorming, mind mapping, lateral thinking. These tools can help you generate fresh ideas and solutions. Thirdly, create a supportive environment. A creative leader not only fosters their own creativity, but also inspires creativity in their team. They foster a workplace or team culture where creativity is valued and mistakes are seen as learning opportunities. I would like to raise a toast, celebrate and honor creative leadership in Toastmasters. So let us raise our glasses, creative leadership in Toastmasters, to those who lead with inspiration, to empower others, to find their voices, and who continually seek new ways to make our Toastmasters journey enriching and fulfilling. Hence, I invite you all to unmute yourself and raise your glass or cup and say after me, success, creative leadership.
Success for
Success, creative leadership. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much for the fitting and beautiful toast. Fellow Toastmasters, as another part of the team, we have the timer that is a very important role to keep us on track. And I'd like to invite Toastmaster Sandra to explain her role, please.
Thank you. Yes, I am Sandra Volks. I'm timing today, and I will have the green, the yellow, and the red as your alerts according to the agenda. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much. And the next person to help us with our grammar is the grammarian. And I'd ask Toastmaster Singh, would you please explain the grammarian's role for us today? Toastmaster Gendre, are you still on with us? Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Madam Toastmaster, fellow
Good evening.
Toastmaster and the guests. Today, today's meeting, the word is innovate, and which means to create or present something new as if it is being done for the first time. And one of the example is self-directed leaders consistently innovate new strategies to motivate their team members to become self-directed leaders themselves. So I request everyone to use the word of the day. I will give the grammarian's report when called upon during the meeting and also report on the uses of the word of the day. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Mr. Grammarian. Now, fellow Toastmasters, it's time for our educational speaker. And I have the privilege this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are in the atmosphere, of introducing our featured speaker for the educational part of the program. Her name is Dr. Aswathy Rajan. And Dr. Aswathy is a very busy young lady. She's the founder of eLearning. It's a global platform for teaching children. She has a background in science, and she also has received an award for the Young Scientist of the Year. She's a public speaker, she's a trainer, she's a co-author, she's a member of Leadership Speaks, she's a former principal, she's a motivational speaker. Wow. And currently she is the division director in District 21, where she shares her time with Toastmasters. Dr. Aswathy has a passion for learning. Fellow Toastmasters, without any further lineage, I present to some and introduce to others Dr. Aswathy Rajan. Dr. Aswathy, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Vivian. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Oprah Winfrey, at the age of 22, was fired from her job as a television reporter because she was unfit for TV. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Steven Spielberg was rejected from film school, not once, not twice, but 3 times. If you all are wondering why am I talking about these legendary people, then you need to think that what led these successful and talented people to continue despite failure and rejection. So, my dear friends, they all had a clear vision in their life. Yes. So, the answer for the question is a clear vision. Creating a vision is the first step towards creating a better future. So, before going into the details of what is vision and how to create a vision, let me ask all of you, according to you, what is a vision? Anyone? You can please unmute yourself and respond. What do you think is vision?
And fulfilling it. Seeing the need and fulfilling it.
Wonderful. Francoise says seeing a need and fulfilling it. Wonderful. Any other answers or any other perspective?
Seeing
Vision
the
is like
unseen.
imagination for future.
Okay.
Imagining a better future.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sabnam, for that response. So, dear friends, according to Merriam-Webster, vision is defined as the act of power of imagination, as our fellow Toastmaster Sabnam mentioned, that it is the act of power to imagine. Vision is a mental picture of the future. It is an idea of what the future can hold, but has not yet happened with you. Vision brings us a glimpse of what is possible. Vision plays a crucial role in leadership. Leadership, as we all know, is all about leading or guiding a team towards a common goal. And having a clear vision is essential for effective leadership. Vision creates a desire to grow and improve. And it also gives a sense of purpose. So, dear friends, we all are self-directed leaders. But do we have a vision in our lives? So if not, then let us take this first step today and create a vision for ourselves. Before creating a vision, it is very important that we know we have a clarity on our goals. Yes, to have a better clarity, we should answer certain questions like, what is your envisioned future? Because as a visionary leader, if you envision a better and brighter future, then that means you are envisioning a change. And when you envision a change, you are creating something new. And before knowing how to change, it is very important that we know that what to change. So the first step is to find or understand the problem. To understand the problem, understanding the problem ensures that our vision aligns with the actual challenges and needs. For example, a vision that doesn't address the core issues is likely to be ineffective and may not gain support from stakeholders. So therefore, alignment of your vision with the problem is a very important factor. It is also important to focus on what truly matters. A well-defined problem allows you to identify the most critical issues to help and solve, avoid distractions or pursuing irrelevant goals. So understanding the relevance of the problem is again another important point when you are ready to create your vision. Third is to have motivation. A clear understanding of the problem can be a powerful motivator. Knowing the impact of your vision can have and keep you motivated. Addressing a real problem can always inspire you and your team to work towards a common goal. So, dear friends, look for that motivation factor that can draw your vision to reality. 24 years back, my dad took me to an orphanage and I could find a problem there. I realized that a lack of resources and proper education would be a wall between those children and their bright future. And that day, I got the problem to create my vision. Similarly, as a leader, you need to find the problem for which you wish to create a solution by bringing a change. So now, once you are able to find the problem, you can see the purpose too. So next, after finding your problem, is to see the purpose. I dreamt of creating a platform where children, irrespective of their social and economic status, will get value-based education. And I envisioned a platform where educators will be trained to teach with compassion and empathy. And that became the purpose of my life. So, dear friends, a purpose provides a guiding light for your vision. It gives you or your efforts direction and helps you stay focused on your long-term goals, even when faced with challenges or distractions. So it is very important that first you find the problem and then get the purpose to create the vision for your life. As you can see here, once you find the problem, you can easily find the purpose which leads to the vision. And the process is easy. The next step is the process, which is very easy. Once you get the problem, you find the purpose, and you design or create your vision. The process is the final step, which will navigate you from your problem to the vision. So the purpose provides guidance and motivation, and also makes it easier to communicate your vision to others. When you can articulate why your vision matters and how it will make a positive impact, it becomes more compelling to potential supporters, stakeholders, and collaborators too. A purpose-driven vision, it often leads to more sustainable outcomes. Guidance, motivation, communication, and sustainability. These are the factors that will help you develop or find the purpose of your vision. So when your vision is rooted in a deeper purpose, you are more likely to consider the long-term consequences of your actions, which can lead to more responsible and sustainable solutions. So if you envision creating a better future for yourself, or maybe for your organization, you need to find the problem, then the purpose. Now, only then you will be able to draw a strategic concept that outlines what an entity wants to become or accomplish over a specified period of time, which can range from several years to even decades. So this means the problem will give you the purpose, and that will lead you to your vision. So now, the next step is to draw a vision statement. So vision statement articulates this desired future in a concise and compelling manner. So let us see an example here, which is nothing but my vision, which I created for my entrepreneurial journey, for my organization called Success E-Learning. After finding the problem and the purpose of my life, I could create this vision for Success E-Learning. At Success E-Learning, our vision is to empower and transform the lives of teachers and students worldwide. We envision a future where every educator and student has the opportunity to upskill and reskill, unlocking their full potential to create enriching and impactful teaching learning experiences. So friends, this is the vision which I could create. Not only for your business or your organization, we can also have a vision for our personal goals. Even in Toastmasters clubs, we can create our individual vision, which is different from the club vision. And the best example is our own club, Leadership Speak. Our clubs, as you all know, our club's vision is the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. But our club leaders recently, they did an exercise to create the individual vision for the membership in this club, in Leadership Speak. So such exercises, it helps us plan and strategize the process to achieve our goals. So now, there are few benefits of having a clear vision. So let me share the benefits of having a clear vision. The first one is guidance. A clear vision provides a sense of direction and purpose. As many of our fellow Toastmasters shared earlier also, it helps you or your organization make a decision and set priorities that align with you, with your long-term goals. Second is motivation. Clarity in your vision. It can be highly motivating. When you have clear picture of what you want to achieve, it can inspire and energize not only you, but your co-workers or your team members. Also, this motivation can help you overcome the obstacles and stay focused on your vision. Next is alignment. Earlier, I spoke about alignment with the problem. But now, in this context of organization, a clear vision helps align the efforts of all team members. When everyone understands the vision and its importance, they can work together in synergy more effectively towards a common goal. Next, we have measurability. Measurability is a clear vision allows you to set measurable objectives and key performance indicators, which is also called as KPIs. So it helps in tracking the progress from time to time at fixed intervals or at the timeline which you have designed. You will be able to assess whether you are moving closer to your vision or if some kind of adjustment is needed or required. And then we have communication. A clear vision is easier to communicate to others, whether it's your team, stakeholders, or the public. When people understand your vision, they are more likely to support and contribute to its realization. So you have more opportunities to collaborate with others. Resilience. Having a clear vision can always help you or your organization stay resilient in the face of challenges. So when you encounter a setback or any kind of obstacle, a well-defined vision can remind you why your efforts are worthwhile and keep you focused on a long-term goal. And then we have adaptability. While clarity in your vision is very important, it is the most important feature, but it doesn't mean that it is something which is carved on the stone. A clear vision can still be adaptable by changing circumstances and new informations. So in fact, it's often easier to make informed adjustments to clear vision than to a vague or undefined vision. And the final one is inspiration for others. As we all know, a clear vision can inspire and rally others to join your cause. People are more likely to support and follow the leader who have a compelling and well-communicated vision. So fellow Toastmasters, now we have a clear vision in place. What next? A vision statement is, as we all know, is a guiding star, which is helping you to guide towards or show the path towards the goal. And creating a vision is an ongoing process. We all know once we have a vision at place, we need to follow a process that requires reflection, engagement, and commitment. And it serves as a compass guiding your actions and decisions towards desired future. And to become a creative leader who can envision desirable future and unleash the courage, collaboration, and creativity of the contributors, we really need to create a very clear and strong vision. So next step is to build a desirable future through innovative strategies. So that is something or actually a part of the process. Creativity, critical analysis, maybe experimentation, collaboration, sometimes taking bold actions or calculated risks, agility and hard work, of course, all drive participative value and help navigate through the process to make your vision a reality. Now the question is how to create or how to work on the strategies, how to finalize what kind of strategy you want to have, you would like to have to achieve those goals that can help you develop new processes and maybe find some solutions. So as a creative leader, you started with creating a vision, and now you will be creating strategies. So that are actionable ideas to inspire others, to solve problems individually and as a team. So let me share a few methods that I use to create strategies for my venture. The first one is brainstorming, which is the simplest yet very effective way to come up with strategic plan. You can always discuss with your peers or mentors to get ideas and new perspectives on that. And we also have many other ways, or I should say simple tools that can help us in creating strategies. So one such example is creating a vision board. A vision board, you all must have heard. A vision board is a powerful tool to help you create your dream life. And vision boards, it helps you keep your goals top of mind so you can stay on track and make persistent progress towards your dreams. No matter what is happening in the world around, you can remain focused on your vision. A vision board is basically a collection, as you can see here in this picture. It can be a collection of pictures, magazine clippings, newspaper cuttings, some words, quotes, photographs that visually affirm your goals in life. And by creating a visual representation of your dream and putting it somewhere you can see every day, you make it easier for yourself to remember your goals and prioritize your actions accordingly. So that is one method which can help you strategize to reach your goals and create a vision or convert it into a reality. Another example is Lean Canvas. Many of you who are into entrepreneurship must be knowing it already. It is basically an approach to develop a one-page business plan. So it is mostly used by entrepreneurs and people who are working on their startup projects for deconstructing your business idea into key assumptions for better analysis. So it is a strategic document, in simple words, that helps leaders to assemble hypothesis of a particular business model for launching any kind of startup or any business. So having a lean canvas is also again a visual guide that will help you to communicate your ideas and plan different strategies to make your vision a reality. And here you can see this is the first draft of Lean Canvas, which I did for my organization when I started it. So of course, I have refined it and now it is different, but this is how you create a Lean Canvas for your vision. And believe me, it is a very effective tool. And friends, creative leaders understand that they need to inspire their team and lead by example to bring their vision to life. And to lead with vision, you need to have a clear understanding of what you want to achieve and why it matters. So start by defining your vision and then communicate it clearly to your team. So at the end, I would like to close by sharing this beautiful quote by Carl Jung, that your vision will become clear only when you can look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams, and who looks inside awakes. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much for that very powerful and inspiring speech, Dr. Aswathy. We really appreciate that. Fellow Toastmasters, now we move to the prepared speeches, and we have just a shift in the speaking order. Now in the speaking position number 1 will be Toastmaster Bowen. And before I bring on Toastmaster Bowen, I'd like to invite her evaluator, Angela Brown, to explain the objectives of Toastmaster Bowen's speech. Toastmaster Brown? Toastmaster Angela Brown, are you on? Zoom Master, are you?
Yes, I've
Do you
sent
see the-
her, I asked Angela to turn on her video. She is not responding.
She was on. She may have dropped out. She may be having technical difficulties.
Possibly. Shall we proceed with the speech?
Yes, we will proceed with the speech from Toastmaster Bowen.
So Francois had to leave early, right? So shall we accommodate her? I mean, we can pick up, do the evaluation for her.
Oh, yes, we can.
Or maybe
We can do the evaluation.
Bram, would you like to take up the evaluation for Francois?
Sure, I can do the evaluation.
Yes, please go ahead with Francois.
Thank you so much. Fellow Toastmasters, we will now hear the objectives of Toastmaster Bowen's speech. Do you have those available?
Sorry,
yes,
I'm
thank
here.
you.
I hear Toastmaster. Excuse me, I think I hear Angela Brown. Are you here, Toastmaster Brown?
Yes, I'm here now.
Okay. Thank you. Please give us the objectives of Toastmaster Bowen's speech, please.
The speech is a presentation mastery project icebreaker titled Why Presentation Soft Skills Matters. Soft introduction. Francoise believes in creating and leaving a positive legacy behind. The entire man needs to be developed. Some persons stop living thinking they are living because they have remained.
Toastmaster, excuse me, Toastmaster Brown. Excuse me, Toastmaster Brown.
Yeah, sorry.
Please give me the objective.
4 to 6 minutes.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Angela Brown. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, our featured speaker, Toastmaster Bowen, believes in creating and leaving a positive legacy behind. The entire man needs to be developed. Some persons stop living, and they stop living because they try and live on the last success that they've had. And that last success may not be applicable for today's environment. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I present to you Toastmaster Bowen, the title of her speech, Why Presentation Soft Skills Matter. Toastmaster Bowen, Why Presentation Soft Skills Matter. Toastmaster Bowen, the virtual platform is yours.
Wow. Technology, presentation, software, skills, on and on and on. We are all in Toastmasters for various reasons. Networking, yes, I meet somebody in Africa, India, Canada, Dubai. We're in Toastmasters for so many reasons. Toastmaster of the day. Presentation soft skills, why it matters. It matters a lot. And I will share with you something that I hope each and every one of us will definitely take away. Right before you, this is a photo of me in my country, Antigua and Barbuda. And you would note it is a symbol of me in the crane digging up the hard soil. Digging up the hard soil. In life, encounter several challenges that has hardened our hearts. And I decided enough is enough. It is enough. self-development is continuous. You heard me? Self-development is continuous. Why is it that we decide we should just remain where we are or what we've achieved in the past? It is always practical to keep learning, keep growing. Opportunity will appear at the least unexpected time. Now, when I joined Toastmasters in 2014, it was a joy and it still is a joy. And the lessons and soft skills that we learn through Toastmasters that I have gained thus far, here they are. Leadership, introducing yourself, appropriate language, using vocal variety. Using vocal variety.
That's courage. That's courage.
Be persuasive. We all communicate, whether in our family, whether at home, whatever, we communicate and we want to be persuasive. We're like that person in customer service who sells. So we need to be persuasive. Our very own distinguished Toastmaster Nina John shared in an article back in February in Toastmasters International about what you learn in Toastmasters and what it's all about. Now, here is my question specifically to two sets of persons. We have a lot of non-Toastmasters who watch our YouTube page on Leadership Speak. Are you thinking about enhancing yourself, building your skills? After now reading what distinguished Toastmaster Nina John shared, think of it. To our legacy members, persons who have been in Toastmasters since way back then, are you now thinking about, wait, why is it that I'm always, I don't want to be on pathways, I hate pathways, I prefer, based on my research on Toastmasters International Facebook page and listening to others, I prefer the old communication style than the pathway style. But did you know, or do you know that pathways actually covers both leadership and communication, whereas the legacy one only focus on, well, for us, the members to choose either communication or leadership, and pathways is providing all. Here it is. Look at the things that you will gain through Toastmasters. Look at the presentation skills that you will develop in yourself, no matter your age. Hey, ask distinguished Toastmaster Tony. Yeah, you hear where he is now? Come on. There's so much in building your skills. Don't waste your time in thinking it's not for me. And I would like to share something about how you must ensure you get yourself up to speed. Don't remain in your last success. Multiply it better for yourself and those around you. If you're a legacy member, be a mentor to those who are coming in and those around you. Take a note of one last thing.
When you told me about this Candy Crush game, at first I thought, so what? But now I can't stop playing.
That's not how it works.
I mean, it's so simple.
Insurance could have saved you money in half that time.
3 in a row. Sweet.
15 minutes for a quote isn't so sweet.
Level 2.
Start with a quote from Esurance and you can save money on car insurance in half the time.
Do you want to be that legacy member who is trying to complete a level with a hammer the old way? Create thirst for your growth. Leave a positive legacy behind by building your presentation soft skills through Toastmasters. And you will be on target, on time, and of course, always ahead. Back over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
I think she's muted.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bowen. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Maria Cusin, and her evaluator is Toastmaster Claudette Thomas. Toastmaster Claudette Thomas, would you give us the objectives of Toastmaster Cusin's speech, please? The objectives, please.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and all welcome guests. Marie is speaking from the Dynamic Leadership Path, Level 2, Project 2. The purpose of this project is for Marie to learn about different communication styles, identify her primary style, and share the impact of her style on others. Marie is also working on conveying a clear, simple message to encourage the audience to take action. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Fellow Toastmasters, may I introduce to all Toastmaster Maria Cusin. She's been a Toastmaster since 2006. Her last position that she's held in Toastmasters has been an area director, and she was an area director in Switzerland. In this speech, she will describe how her professional group encouraged her to make an irreversible decision. The title of her speech, Look Far, Breathe Deep, and Go For It. Look far, breathe deep, and go for it. Toastmaster Maria Cusin, I invite you to the virtual platform.
Many years ago, when I was part of a small sales team, our manager decided to take us for bungee jumping. At that time, I was the only woman, so I couldn't back down. And I followed them to Europe's highest bungee jumps, 119 meters or 625 feet, at Nuuk in Switzerland. A suspended bridge connects two mountains with a river flowing far below. Dear fellow Toastmaster and guests, but what was I going to do in this mess? It was all for team bonding. On the edge of that dizzy cliff, I am watching the guys bravely step forward. Security team harness them. Harness, carabiners, elastic at the foot. Each man take a deep breath, gaze into the horizon, and jump. Defying gravity with remarkable courage, the shouts of joy, fear, and relief echo through the air. I stand there, frozen, watching them closely. Then it was my turn. My feet have never felt so firmly planted on the ground. Security team harness me, harness, carabiners, elastic at the foot. I take a deep breath, look confidently into the horizon, and moved forward, only to be met with sheer terror as I see the abyss. I hesitate. Why have I said yes? I try 2 more times. Inhale. Gaze forehead. Go for no, no. Finally, security teams that is securing me say, it is your last attempt. That's when I witnessed a remarkable show of encouragement from my professional team. They said, you can do it, you can do it. Remember your confidence in selling to clients, your arguments, put them into practice, Marie, with yourself. You can do it. The tension was palpable. Suddenly, in unison, they begin a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And I jumped. The sensation of free fall is wrecked and incredibly exhilarating. I am floating in the air. I am flying. I feel light and free. In fact, this experience taught me a fundamental lesson. Creative and direct communication is a powerful force. My friends didn't use lengthy speeches to persuade me to jump. They simply acted confidently, created a positive tension, and encouraged me to take action. It was a perfect demonstration of turning my initial fear into courage through their support. And you can do the same in your own life. Don't let fear hold you back. Instead, dare to leap into the unknown with the assurance that all the order can help you overcome the obstacle in your path. Whether it is in your work, your relationships, or your personal project, never forget the power of the encouragement of order to strengthen and nurture self-confidence. Remember the example of Nikita Vrinker. In conclusion, fellow Toastmaster and guests, long live creative and direct communication. Don't be afraid to act with confidence, to encourage those around you, and to conquer your own fears. Because, as I learned during that memorable bungee jump, it is in action that we discover our true strength and our ability to face the unknown. Just a first step. Look far. Break deep. And go for it. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Cusin, for reminding us to breathe and to just go for it. Thank you so much. Fellow Toastmasters, now I would like to introduce our third speaker. And before I bring our third speaker on, I'd like to invite the evaluator for Marianna Burka, who is Toastmaster Barbara Jarvis, to please give us the objectives of Toastmaster Burka's speech, please.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, especially Toastmaster Marianna Burka. Marianna Burka's title speech today is going to be I Am a Leader. She is doing her team collaboration level 2, understanding your leadership style. She will share aspects of chosen leadership style or leadership styles in general. She will discuss style preferences when working with others, how to adapt the chosen leadership style, and how they impact a group. The speech is for 5 to 7 minutes. Back over to you, Madam Toastmaster today.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jarvis, for the objectives of the speech. Fellow Toastmasters, Marianna Burka has been a member of Toastmasters since October of 2018. She enjoys participating at club meetings, and she has goals to improve her public speaking ability. She enjoys taking on various roles in the Toastmaster Leadership Speaks Club. She's one speech away from achieving her DTM. By profession, she's a passionate wellness coach, fasting expert, and she promotes healthy living wherever she can. Today, she will present her speech to us, Understand Your Leadership Styles. And her title for this speech is Leading. Fellow Toastmasters, I introduce and I present Toastmaster Marianna Burka to the virtual platform. Toastmaster Burka.
About 10 years ago, a friend visited me. As we were sitting in front of my house on a porch, now very comfortable Adirondack chair, sipping our lattes, she told me, Marianna, my life is so good. I wake up in the morning and I decide what will I do today, and I do it. Yeah. Her children by that time already moved out. I still had 2 young kids to take care of and studied. So I looked at her a bit of an envy and I said, well, my life is good. I wake up in the morning, look at all my responsibilities, and I decide which one I'm not going to do today. And I don't do it. And that is leadership. Sometimes you have to decide what not to do. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. Before I joined Toastmasters, if anybody would ask me, what kind of leaders are there? I would say there are good leaders and there are bad leaders. Well, according to Toastmasters, that's not that simple. There are authoritative, affiliative, coaching, pacemaking, altruistic, democratic, bureaucratic, and innovative leaders. Wow, all that. And today, I have to tell you what is my preferred style of leadership. I wonder if ever anyone woke up in the morning and said, I want to be an autocratic leader. I want to be a bureaucratic leader. Yet, we do have plenty of those. Sometimes, myself included. So what kind of leader am I? It depends who you ask. If you ask my dog, Toffee, she will tell you, if she could, that I am a most democratic leader of all time. I let her choose even the side of the road she wants to walk when we walk. Now, if you ask my children, the answer might be different because I did make them eat their broccoli. I did make them to go to ballet lessons, piano lessons, to practice. And it wasn't always pretty. But I also let them choose what games they wanted to play. And when we were traveling, I let them decide what kind of attraction they wanted to see. So leadership depends on the situation. If we talk about Toastmasters, I think most people would agree that I am a fairly easygoing leader. I am helpful, I am coaching, I am available most of the time. And if we talk about my industry, wellness, someone would say I'm a maverick because I like to push the line. I walk to talk. That doesn't mean I would expect or push anyone to do it. But a leader should be able to show the way, which way to go. But most importantly, a leader has to be understanding to everybody's ability, to circumstances. And a good leader, doesn't matter what style is that, have to be able to make decisions. And those decisions sometimes come down as a wrong decisions. And then a leader has to be able to take responsibility for those wrong decisions. Because wrong decisions happens. There's a Hungarian saying, only people who don't do anything will make no mistakes. And if you are a leader, you have to do many things. You have to make decisions, you have to decide. And sometimes you don't get the popularity vote. And sometimes you are not correct, but you have to take responsibility and then go forward. And that is the biggest, one of the biggest thing for a leader. When you make a wrong decision and you feel like burned and you just want to step back, stay away from the light. But a leader has to stay in front and assess the situation and go forward. Show the way still. Listen to others, but we have to make a decision. So what kind of leader I am? I am sometimes authoritative because I don't afraid to make the decision. And many times I'm coaching because I love to help people. And that is my life, a wellness coach. But all in all, I believe I am a good leader because ultimately there are good leaders and bad leaders. And I am a good leader. Are you?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The fellow Toastmasters, speaker number 4 is Toastmaster Dinesh. And before I bring on Toastmaster Dinesh, I am going to ask his evaluator, Toastmaster Natati, to please explain the objectives of the speech. Toastmaster Natati, there you are. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Dinesh will be presenting on pathway team collaboration. Level 2, understanding your leadership style. Project 1. The purpose of Dinesh's speech is for him to identify his primary leadership styles or styles, and for him to share some aspects of his primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. His speech may be humorous, informational, or any style he chooses to use. The title of Dinesh's speech is Affiliative Leadership is Key to Long-Term Success. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Natati. Thank you so much. Fellow Toastmasters, I introduce Toastmaster Dinesh to you. All leader styles have its own advantage. However, personally, he feels that forming collaborative relationships is the key to long-term success. In this presentation, he will show us how to build collaborative relationships. In doing this, he has been able to bring new business opportunity to all of us. Fellow Toastmasters, Dinesh Sharma, affiliative leadership is key to long-term success. Toastmaster Dinesh Sharma, the stage is yours.
Madam Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guest. Before I start my presentation, I want to congratulate Marianna. Marianna, you stole the thunder. You already did what I wanted to say. I don't have anything else to say now on the leadership. Wow, what do I do? What do I do? You already said there are leaders, which is simple, good leaders and bad leaders. That summarized the entire presentation that I was going to make it to. When I was listening to your presentation, I was thinking that maybe I'll tell the Toastmaster of the day that cancel my presentation. Marianna has already stole the thunder. And before that, we had Francoise, we had Dr. Aswathy, Rajan. All of you are wonderful leaders. All of you stole the thunders today. But as you say, the show must go on. The show must go on. I have a responsibility. I have to make a decision. I decided I'm going to present today, so I'm going to present today. The title of my speech is Affiliative Leadership is Key to Long-Term Success. Agenda, I have 5 components of my presentation. And as I said, Marianna already shared this. What's leadership? Everybody have a different way of explaining leadership. Type of leader, brief description, and then I'll do some self-analysis of mine. What is my leadership style? This is purely my personal observation. You could disagree with it too, or you could agree with it too, and then I'll present a summary. So if you Google it up, you will find hundreds and thousands of quotes on leadership. What I like the most, the defining leadership for me is leadership is the act of guiding a team of individuals to achieve a certain goal through direction and motivation. So when Marianna said her dog walks the right way, she let her do that too. But on the other hand, she tells her kids, eat the broccoli. 2 different sets of leadership styles. Leader encourages others to take the action they need to succeed. And to be a great leader, it's necessary that we learn and cultivate the skills it takes to be effective. 7 leadership styles, we all know this: autocratic, pace-setting, authoritative, democratic, coaching, affiliative, and laissez-faire style. A brief description of autocratic: do as I say. Right, Marianna, you tell your kid, eat the broccoli. Democratic, share information with employees about anything that affects their works. Pace setting, set the bar high, push the team to run hard and fast. Coaching, authoritatives are in times of uncertainty, lift the fog for the people. Affiliative, forming collaborative relationships within the team. And the last is laissez-faire, let people swim with the current. So in summary, there are a total of 7 leadership styles. Knowing which of the leadership styles work best for you is part of being a good leader. However, developing a signature style with the ability to stretch into the other styles as the situation warrant may help enhance your leadership effectiveness. Good leader, bad leader, have a signature style and then move on to the other styles of the leadership. That's called, in some terminology, I call them as a situational leader. You could be authoritative on one day, and in a couple of minutes, you could be democratic, or you could be affiliative. That's called situational leadership, which is not here, but that's kind of the summary of the whole leadership is. So then, What's my leadership style? This is purely, as I said, my personal observations. And I'm sure some of you know, I am a community man. I run a not-for-profit organization of my own. I am involved in Toastmasters, 3 different clubs, 3 different districts. For one of the districts, I'm the area director. And in addition to that, I'm a part of my professional association, where I used to be on the board of that professional association for a number of years. And then there is another community organization that I'm a part of it too. So what I have to do is the style that I observe at my not-for-profit organization, I cannot do that in my professional association, or the style that I use at my professional association, I cannot use that into my Toastmaster thing. So I still thought, let me just work through it and see what my style is. As a founder, what do I do? There was a professional on the previous slides. These are young students, having lunch with them, celebrating their successes. Celebrating success. We got an award for the promising startup company. As an area director, what's my style? I'm a professional, I'm a board member at a professional association, but then I'm a member at another community organization. So when I looked at all that stuff too, then I said, hey, maybe I'm an affiliative leadership style, I have it. This is my observation. You could put into the comment of what you think that my leadership style is. I would welcome any feedback that you want to give it to me too. So my observation is I'm an affiliative leader. And what's the affiliative leader? Affiliative leadership is the type of leadership that promotes positivity, harmonious workplace, and team building. This leadership style focuses on using conflict resolution, creating personal connection between employees and their managers to build a sense of community and trust. And in order to be a great, effective leader, it's necessary to learn and cultivate that skills. What Dr. Aswathy Rajan says, communication, what Marianna said, what the vocal variety that Francoise mentioned. You need to learn all the different skills in here if you want to be an affiliative leader. So that's all about me, and that's all about what I think is my leadership style. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
You're muted.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dinesh, for sharing with us your thoughts on your leadership styles. Fellow Toastmasters, our next speaker is Toastmaster Afton, and I will, before I bring on our next speaker, I'd like to ask our evaluator, Toastmaster Sounder, if he will give us the objectives of her speech, please.
Sure, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you.
The purpose of this project is for Toastmaster Afton to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. I also connected with Afton to, as an evaluator, what I should be looking out for, and got to know that content of the speech and what strikes with the audience and what evokes the emotion. That's also I'll be observing, and I'll be reporting back and called by the general evaluator. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. Fellow Toastmasters, Toastmaster Afton Rajan joined Toastmasters in 2020. She's a member of the European Toastmasters in France. She later joined Leadership Speaks to challenge herself, to broaden her horizon, and to collaborate with Toastmasters worldwide. Fellow Toastmasters, I introduce Toastmaster Afton Rajan, and the title of her speech, My Accent, My Story. My Accent, My Story. Toastmaster Afton Rajan, the virtual platform is yours. Thank you.
Je comprends que la fuite, la liberté pure, l'invisibilité qui surgirait. In the background, I could hear some of my classmates snickering as I mispronounced the French words. It was the first time that I was called upon to read a text in French in class. My hands were shaking. My voice was trembling. I managed to finish the sentence, but that was it. I was done. I had had it. I felt ashamed, humiliated, voiceless. My dear Toastmasters and guests, have you ever felt ashamed, humiliated, voiceless? Well, I considered it as part of the rites of passage to learning a foreign language. When I left my country of Trinidad and Tobago to pursue my studies in France, I thought that I spoke fluent French until I landed in Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport. There I realized that I understood absolutely nothing. My dear friends, I felt as if I was a toddler again, learning how to speak. A humbling experience, may I add. Learning French was no easy task, but I had this accent, which brought a lot of unnecessary attention to me. When I went to the baker's to order my famous French baguette or French bread, I would observe the pain on the baker's face as he would try to understand what I was saying. Oh la la, this accent. Or when I would speak to people on the street, they would ask me to repeat myself once. And when I would do so, they would reply quickly, okay, okay, oui, oui. And they were quickly on their way. And I knew very well that they understood absolutely nothing that I said. Oh la la, this accent. My leadership speak family, I have a secret to tell you. Come closer. I was so humiliated with my accent that I would spend hours upon hours listening to French journalists to have the good Parisian accent. Or I would even mimic my classmates to sound exactly like them. And on numerous occasions, I was so ashamed that I didn't even speak. Oh la la, this accent. And then one day, whilst I was looking at Spanish television, there she was in all of her glory, an anchor woman. She spoke with her shoulders back, eloquently, clearly, confidently, accompanied by her main accessory, her prominent American accent. Nobody cared. It was all right. From that day onwards, I embraced my accent and I realized that my accent was my story. My melodious accent made me feel to dance as I remembered my roots in Trinidad and Tobago, the land of Calypso. My accent reminded me that I had left my family and friends more than 7,000 kilometers away to pursue my dreams of living and studying in France. My accent made me recall and made me so proud that in spite of all the trials and tribulations that I had faced, I was able to build a beautiful life for myself here in France. Yes, my accent, my story. My fellow Toastmasters and guests, I urge you to not waste as much time as I did and accept yourselves today. Each and every one of us have a different contribution or impact to make in this life. Contribute now. Celebrate yourselves now. Accept yourselves now. The world is out there, eager to hear your accent, your story. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I agree. My accent, my story. Fellow Toastmasters, now I will ask our timer, Toastmaster Sandra, would you please put the timers report in the chat box, please? And while she's doing that, I'm going to ask the Zoom master to post the poll so that we can vote for the best effort speaker today. Would you please do that? Okay, here's the poll. If you'll please vote. All right. And while we're finishing up the voting, I'd like to now introduce the general evaluator, who is Toastmaster Carine Baptiste. Toastmaster Carine Baptiste is a member of 2 English-speaking clubs in Paris. She joined Leadership Speaks in 2023. Her main objective is to be a great communicator and develop her speaking skills. Her hobbies include Indian dancing, and also she enjoys the theater. Fellow Toastmasters, I introduce to you and help me welcome the General Evaluator, Toastmaster Carine Baptiste. Toastmaster Baptiste, the virtual lectern is yours.
Thank you very much, Vivian, for this great introduction. Dear member, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. This is my pleasure to be your General Evaluator today. My role is to evaluate the meeting and also to introduce all evaluators. So I will introduce our first evaluator, Rozy, who will be evaluating our toast Sabnam. Please welcome Rozy. The floor is yours, Rozy.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. Fellow Toastmasters, and particularly Sabnam. Generally at Leadership Speak, we have a routine. We start the meeting with a toast. And that toast is meant to shine the light in some ways to the theme. And Sabnam, you did that really well. You not only just alluded and spoke about creativity, but you went the extra mile and you shared some tips, some educational tips. Now, normally I come back to saying that toasts tend to be light and almost fun and really without too much information, but Leadership Speak is a club where we learn leadership and where we want to educate ourselves. All our members thrive on education. So you took this opportunity to give us 3 tips, and extremely, extremely well done. I also really liked how you used triads and alliterations, because you had several things in 3s at the very beginning, and although I missed the exact words, you talked about imagination and all, and I particularly remember engaging, entertaining, educational. So it came across really well. Now, one of the things you asked me to look out for was the pace at which you speak. And indeed, I do agree. And it's a good thing that you are self-aware. There is a faster pace, and it would help if you try to just, slow down so that we can absorb what you are saying. So as you say something that's powerful, try, even if you speak at a faster pace, that's fine. Different people have different words per minute that they use, but just try and pause after a sentence, and that way we are able to digest that valuable content. So I just recommend or advise that you pause. The second item that I want to just point out is in a toast, we just have to be very careful when we ask our audience to raise our glasses. I can't remember the exact words you said, whether it was drink to or raise our glass, but you did that earlier, like one occasion first. So we had already started raising our cups and glasses, everyone. But it wasn't your end because you continued and then again you came back. So try and make that raising of the glass just once and let it come with a punch. But beautiful toast, talked about creativity, gave us nuggets, gave us good nuggets, good takeaways, good choice of words, alliterations, and triads. I enjoyed your toast and thought it was very appropriate for today's meeting. Thank you. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Rozy, for your insightful evaluation. So you have perfectly gave us some tips to have a great toast in terms of 3 keywords and also to make samples. So it's very important to engage your audience and also to sum up what you have done. So thank you very much, Rozy. Let's continue our second evaluator, Daniel. Please welcome Daniel to evaluate Vivian, our Toastmaster of the day. Please welcome Daniel.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, Carine. Thank you, Madam Carine. Thank you for that. I am going to evaluate our Toastmaster of the day, Vivian Robinson. Vivian Robinson, it is a pleasure to have you as a Toastmaster of the day. You've done a sterling job with that. Your passion to come out and do a wonderful was great. At the beginning, you said, when we were practicing before we started, said, let me stand, have got more energy. So you want us to give us the energy, and energy came out very well with that. The Toastmaster of the day at Leadership Speak is one which is a main role, and you're given almost 2 weeks in advance to actually go through the role. One of the things that we do in Leadership Speak also is to have a group set well in advance, and I probably did it a little bit later, but that helps you to practice the role a little bit, help you how the role takers come in, see if there's any changes that happens. And I saw that group was only set on Friday, so we didn't have enough time for it. Probably more time would have been better with it. So just as one of the things of planning. You smiled, got in. One of the things you also said was that you're careful about how you pronounce people's names and you want to practice it a little bit. And that was a thing that came out and you apologize for it. But maybe if we did it a little bit longer, a little bit more, because like some of the names were, Sabnam was something else and Tati, if you know that you maybe have trouble with pronouncing, practice it for a longer time, and you have the time to actually do that. Then the standing was great, and I think that was one very creative way to say, how can I do it differently? But just take note that sometimes when you do the standing, remove the background, because the background seems to distort a little bit our movement. So that becomes distorted. So stand, yes, but then remove the background. And then also check, because at times your head was cut off when you stood up. That was taken off. So a bit of practice there would have been good. And the Thursday practice would have been a great one to have there. So we don't look for perfection, but we try to do as much as possible. At Toastmasters, we learn by doing, but also all of us in the meeting also learn different ways, because we also learn different ways. And I've learned quite a bit from you and learned a lot. And I like the energy you have there and your attention to call in before the speaker comes and you're preparing to get them in. So you spend the time very well with it. Well done with that. A little bit for a few more attention there would be good, would take you to another level. But I think you do a great job with it. Thank you for that, Vivian. And back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for your insightful also evaluation. You have recommended a good organization when we are Toastmaster of the day. requires a time in advance to prepare. Preparation is very important. And also you have shared with us the techniques to have a correct image to engage also your audience. It is important to test, as you mentioned, Daniel. If you can show an illustration, it could be useful for us because most of them do not have the habits to have a virtual session. So you can, for the next time, show how to have a good attitude, a good position to have in front of online position. So thank you very much, Daniel, for all aspects you have shared with us. We continue with our third evaluator, with Ram, sorry. Ram will be evaluating the educational session provided by Aswathy. Please welcome Ram. Ram, it's over you.
Thank you, Madam GE, and especially our Toastmaster today for education, Toastmaster Aswathy. Amazing, amazing, amazing are the three words that I would say to a speech like that. A keynote speech, a keynote speech, not 5 to 7, which was I was led to believe by everybody else but me. What did Toastmaster Aswathy ask me to watch out for? 1, audience connection, tick. Body language, tick. There's a unique way when we present online. And looking directly at the camera, tick, all there. In turn, the audience, yes, a big tick. Nothing escapes the camera, as they say. And by looking at the summary that you provided, and what a unique way to summarize things. One of the things was lead canvas caught my attention. Excellent business plan. Wonderful. Your PowerPoint presentation was not a PowerPoint presentation alone, but a workshop in how to conduct PowerPoint, not reading it. But, however, there was one slide that you read, which threw it off. Otherwise, it would have been 100%. That, to me, is very good. And I think for us that want to learn a little bit more, for the members, go back and watch the slides again, and you'll see the manner in which Aswathy did that powerful PowerPoint presentation. As well, one of the minor things that I looked at was you were behind this slide at times. Minor thing about your face was sort of covered, but more so parts of your body was hidden behind the slide. What happens when you read the slide? When you read too much, people's attention are in the slide and not you. And you were right, bang on, wonderful. But improvement that I wanted to see a lot more, I was flabbergasted to find that what happened to my evaluation duration? Did it get lost in the mail, or was it still going to be delivered? I'm still making the assumption it's going to be 5 to 7. Lo and behold, somebody changed it without the evaluator knowing what it's all about. Why did it happen? Until this moment, I'm still waiting to someone to deliver, to tell me that the evaluator is the speaker is going to be a keynote address. And a little bit more notice as well, instead of getting the morning of the speech, is ideal to put more substance into the evaluation. Other than that, I go back to saying, Aswathy, wow, 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 keep it up. Do this type of thing more often, and it'll be appreciated. Thank you, Aswathy. Back to you, Madam GE.
Thank you very much, Ram, for your evaluation. I really appreciated the way you show the different tips Aswathy have used in terms of visual aspects, connection, vocal variety, and the content. As you mentioned, this is an educational session. You have a theoretic part, and also we need to show a story. And you are perfectly demonstrated the way Aswathy have mixed the two parts. And I would like to get from you, what have you learned for Aswathy finally? What the techniques maybe you can use in your Toastmaster journey, for example, to deliver a speech or outside Toastmasters? So as you mentioned, we learn from each other. So we can use our tips or practices in our personal and professional life. And this is the way I would like to hear from you. Thank you very much. Let's continue with our first speaker, evaluated by Angela Brown. Angela, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, especially Francoise. It's a pleasure for me to evaluate your speech. I thought your speech was great. I really enjoyed the presentation that you gave. The content was very good, very relevant to us and about, and you seemed very comfortable doing your speech. You seemed comfortable in the camera. You had good vocal variety. I loved where you went up at times for certain parts of your speech, and changing your voice I thought was great. The audience was very engaged. I know I was very engaged in your speech. Almost forgot that I was supposed to be evaluating. And that video that you added in with the Candy Crush, doing it, are we going to do it the old way with the hammer, or are we going to use technology and do it the better way? And I thought that was really great, and added more content, added much to your speech. I only have two comments. The points of encouragement was that first of all, I didn't see any gestures, but it's also that you were hidden by because you're doing a PowerPoint and sort of hid you. So I don't know if you did do any gestures. I just didn't see any. And the purpose of the icebreaker speech is to tell us about yourself. And even though it was a really great speech, I didn't find that I learned anything about you personally from your speech. But overall, you did a really great job. You had good eye contact, good content, good presentation, very good vocal variety, and that video edition was great. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angela, for your evaluation about presentation of Francoise. As you mentioned, Francoise gave us a good energy, a good positivity for us, and we feel all this atmosphere. And as you mentioned, she has used all techniques in terms of vocal variety with her voice. She has the habits to modulate, her voice quickly, slowly, her gesture. She has used perfectly technological aspect with her presentation. And also, yes, you have raised a good point to use in her personal aspect. So it is always interesting to see how to use these techniques to improve finally more. And great job, Angela. Thank you very much. Let's continue with our second evaluator, Claudette. She will be evaluating Marie. The floor is yours, Claudette.
Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, our guests, and especially Marie, congratulations on the completion of the speech. Thank you for delivering a very impactful and engaging speech to me. Look far, breathe deep, and go for it. And that's precisely what you did using your direct communication style. What I liked and what you did well, Marie. Did we all notice Marie's structure? I was able to follow it very well with the opening, body, and conclusion. An excellent opening with a story that captivated me, with bungee jumping between two mountains. And she described it 625 feet, 625 feet between the mountains. You have convinced me to try this sport. I've never done it. It sounds like fun and it builds confidence. Your delivery, Marie, you demonstrated the bungee jumping. You did that well. So your delivery and gestures aligned with what you were saying. And the deep breath and jump. You showed us how you were floating, light and free. And the vocal variety again, oh, the highs and lows, that drew me in. I felt it was very impactful. So you had great pitch and great volume as you demonstrated the jumping. Marie specifically asked me to look for how you can convey a clear, simple message to encourage the audience to take action. I believe you did that from the very beginning to the end. You told us never to forget the power of your confidence. Don't be afraid to act with confidence and to conquer your fear. And that's what I will try to do, Marie. Your Zoom presence, Marie, you were clear in the camera frame. And I believe you used it stage well. The gestures at times were obscured because of the virtual background. And that happens to most of us. And that took away from some of your meaningful gestures. What I would suggest is to try to be in the camera frame all of the time. And when you're doing gestures, so we lost you at times when you were doing some of the gestures. And if also you can demonstrate some of the other communication styles, that would be helpful. In summary, Marie, you told us about your leadership style of being direct. You had excellent gestures, vocal variety, a great story. Overall, Marie, fantastic job. Thank you for the motivational and inspiring speech. We can do the same. Don't let fear stop us. Don't be afraid to act. Look far, breathe deep, go for it. I will remember these messages and apply them to my life. Great takeaway, call to action. Thank you, and back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Claudette, for your structure evaluation. I really appreciate your way to describe the positive aspects, and after that, the recommendation, and finally, to sum up your evaluation. You have this way to encourage, to support. Your voice is very positive, and if I have you as a coach, I can compete because you have this motivation to push, to improve more and more. We can make some efforts, some great improvement with your evaluation. And I think this is your first evaluation because you are a recent member. You are a recent member, so thank you very much for that. And it's very positive. And for the next time, I hope you can demonstrate also the way to show how to do this to improve more. Show us more illustrations. Thank you very much, Claudette. Let's continue with our third evaluator. Please, I call Nancy. Nancy will be evaluating. Sorry, I will call, our third evaluator, Barbara Jarvis. She will be evaluating Marianna. Sorry. The floor is yours, Barbara.
Well, thank you very much again. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, Toastmasters. Thank you, Toastmaster Marianna, for your delivery on your leadership style by leading. I commend you for listing the different leadership styles, some being democratic, coaching, affiliating, and autocratic. You stated your leadership style and made reference to your dog, perceiving you to be democratic. If he was to talk to you, you would have been surprised. There are indeed good leaders and bad leaders. You noted they are good and that you are a good leader, and your preferred style of leadership is coaching. Leaders must walk the walk and talk the talk. I agree with you when you make that statement. Sometimes a wrong decision is made by a leader, but a leader, a strong leader, must stay in front and lead and do not push others. We have to be sensitive towards others' feelings and lead, walk, and talk. Your vocal variety, your clarity, your body language, and your eye contact were all very good. You ended when you demonstrate with your hand saying, are you a good leader or you're a bad leader? I love that. So we can pick and choose which hand we are. Let's follow the good hand. Always the right hand is a good leader. And you recommended briefly that what I would recommend is that for the different styles that you mentioned, yes, you listed them, but if you had stated a little bit more of what is a democratic leader, what is an affiliated leader, what is an autocratic leader, and the other types of other leadership. You had stated maybe a little one line, what they are, and why you chose coaching, so we could see why coaching for you, and if coaching is the best form of leadership to do. So others probably could say, well, maybe that is the best style I may adopt. All in all, your presentation was good, and I commend you for doing a wonderful job, and wish you all the best in the others. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Barbara, for this incredible evaluation. You have proposed an analysis about Marianna's speech. This is also original because you propose an option to finally suggest different style of leadership inside our speech. And also you have talked about the techniques she has used perfectly in her speech. And I think this insightful evaluation can improve more and also can have a different vision. So it's very interesting to extrapolate finally to be outside for a speech. Thank you very much, Barbara. Let's continue with our first evaluator, Nanti. She will be evaluating Dinesh. Please welcome warmly, Nanti.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, especially Dinesh, with his engaging, informative speech. Dinesh, I appreciated that you acknowledged that your predecessors have already deliberated on the various leadership styles. However, you listed them, you named them, and gave brief explanation of what they stand for. That was very appreciated by me. Your Zoom presence, as always, was good, and you had a pleasant vocal variety, and you used your hands as gestures to emphasize certain points. Your PowerPoint presentation, which appealed to me because it used my auditory, visionary senses. And also you ended with a summary. You indicated that your leadership style, in your view, is situational leadership style, and explained what it is. I would like to give the following recommendations. One, you mentioned the situational leadership style and also talked about the affiliative leadership style. These two are completely different leadership styles. Affiliative appeals to the heart, emotions of a person, and the situational leadership style, as we had explained, indicates that it is a leadership style, or there is no better leadership style. The situation determines, the situation that you are in at that point in time determines whether it should be democratic, autocratic, or any of the leadership styles. But you used both of them. For instance, in the summary, you had the affiliative. I could not get a connection what of the actual message that was being conveyed. Secondly, when you started, you indicated that I have nothing to say. Why must we listen to a person who has nothing to say? Maybe I would recommend that you reconsider that as a professional public speaker, to portray the brand that you are in the negative light. Other than that, you have impact on one of these days. You will hear how you have impacted in me, and you have impacted me in my social life.
And GE, I believe Natati's screen has froze.
Yes. Okay, let's continue. Thank you. I don't know if you can hear me, but thank you very much, Nancy, for this evaluation. So you have perfectly shown the positive aspects for the speech of our speaker. So you can suggest maybe not to read the different description written in the slide. So you can propose to write some bullet points for several slides, because a lot of written is not appropriate for the audience, because all audience is not to read the slide, but to have a synthesis. Thank you. Let's continue with our last evaluator, Sunda. Please welcome Sunda to evaluate Afton.
Mercy, Gender Evaluator Carine, and bonjour, Toastmaster Afton. What a speech it was. I didn't know, right? I expected an icebreaker, but what happened was kind of, it isn't. You made me to experience the learnings when I went for in French, the shaking and trembling, and I felt that is tough. So I went for German, and still there was shaking and trembling. Many were there. So I gave up and said, like, okay, let me get into leadership speak for English. I want to tell you that you excelled greatly by demonstrating vocal variety, the clarity of the words and what you're trying to say. It all started coming out. Initially, I was wondering, what is this language you're talking, right? I could not, but I understood what it is. Your accent, your story it is. The eye contacts were great. The facial expressions was good, and gestures are so congruent and relatable right? As a speaker and also as an audience, which you also wanted to know, that you were able to kind of make that connect. And the emotion part, yes, those who had those initial challenges on picking up a language, it all came out well. You also kind of had two different things in this speech. One is about repeating the words, ashamed, humiliated, voiceless, right? So the pitch was good, the flow was good. Same time, you can say voiceless as to make them understand voiceless. And then you say voiceless, right? How you became voiceless. And you can use this space because standing in front and you're trying to kind of reach out to the audience, maybe in your interactions with the people that you are in a shop or anyone you're interacting with, you can ask them kind of bonjour and you say, and then you come back and say, no, this is what you responded. And we all understood kind of how they were not able to get, it's absolutely nothing, right? So more hand gestures, but it's all came out well for the icebreaker speech. The snickering in the class that you in the French class that you mentioned, maybe you can use an like Dr. Aswathy has used a black screen that would have really made it. The background was not helping. And actual improvement, if I would suggest, is kind of the pace of the speech. 4 to 6 minutes, which I haven't mentioned in my timer card, right? But you did came out with a great speech, great wordings. But the pace which I felt is kind of, I did not notice nervousness, but I noticed urgency. So maybe you want to challenge yourself by leveraging the space that you have for the audience and for the speech that you have to demonstrate yourself and the background that you want to have. And the reflections of kind of how we want to, if you're looking backward, I heard something kind of it, right? Those are a few things that you have to work out on. Excellent speech. Thank you so much. Mercy, Toastmaster Afton, for this wonderful speech.
Merci, 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 Sundar. Thank you very much for this incredible evaluation because you have perfectly shown, demonstrated how to use the space, show the gesture. So it's very useful for all of us because we can see the difference before and after. And we can, after that, use it for our speeches to improve more. Thank you very much, Sundar. So I will ask our timer to post the time report. Thank you very much, Sandra. And our Zoom master to post the poll. Please vote for the best evaluator for this meeting. Okay, you have 30 seconds to vote. Thank you. I will ask our grammarian, Parmarjit, to give his report. Do we use the word of the day? Can we have made some mistakes in terms of grammar pronunciation? Please welcome Parmarjit.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator Carine. Good evening, everyone. I am really surprised that nobody innovated a way to use the word innovate in their speeches. The only one who spoke about innovation was Sabnam, who came before me. Maybe she was knowing that I am going to use saying the word innovate. We had a great session with very few grammarian mistakes, very few. But the good point was a lot of things to learn, a lot of new words I learned, and a lot of, I think, strong words. Sabnam started with the embrace the growth mindset, literal thinking. Then Aswathy Rajan spoke articulate, vision, act of power to imagine, agility. And she used a wonderful quote by Carl Jung: your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who look outside dreams, who look inside awakes. Wow. Francoise used a wonderful word. Self-development is continuous. It's no secret. And I know this 100% true, how Toastmaster skills can boost your career. And Mary used the word where you 2 or 3 times, like, you can do it. And by taking action, we discover our strength. Take a breath and go for it. And Marianna said about Greek saying, but it is, I think everywhere it is being used. Only people who don't do any mistake, make mistakes, are those who don't walk. And Dinesh used a wonderful word like, let people swim with the current. Of Afton, 2 words, very wonderful, eloquently, and ooh la la, I don't know what they mean, but ooh la la, it certainly gave me some energy. And Toastmaster Rozy used the word eluded. And there were only 2 things which I could pinpoint. Was the Mary was saying about the story in the past, but it's I take a deep breath. Actually, it should be I took a deep breath. And Dinesh used a word called not-for-profit organization. Actually, we can make one word, non-profit organization. I hope next time people will take more time to use the word of the day. Over to you, General Evaluator. Okay.
Thank you very much, Balaji, for this accurate report. I think in the agenda we are very late, so I will hand over to our Toastmaster of the day because it is important to respect the time. So sorry, I can't give my report, but I prefer respecting the time. So thank you very much, all Evaluators. You did an incredible job, and also thank you for that, and thank you also for respecting the organization and also to completing the effort. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. I'd like to invite Toastmaster Comments to give us the thought of the day, please. Toastmaster Comments, would you please give us the thought of the day?
According to Mino Van Dijk, in their article published on their website, think.org, it says, creative leadership is both a philosophy and an act. Creative leadership is a philosophy. It's a mindset which envisions the future and unleashes courage, collaboration, and creativity. As an act, creative leadership builds large-scale organizations and uses those future ideas using innovative strategies. Today, I would like you to think about creative leadership at 3 levels. And at these levels, you unleash creativity, boldness, experimentation, and innovation. Firstly, I would like you to think about creative leadership at the individual level. This is called self-leadership. When you unleash individual excellence in yourself by adopting positive attitudes and habits. And secondly, I would like you to think about creative leadership as a team, where you learn to lead world-class teams. Here you creatively unleash creativity, experimentation, and collaboration, and leverage that team to create world-class organizations. Now you get to the organization level. When you learn to individual excellency, creatively practice individual excellency, team excellency, and then you create world-class organization. And here at Leadership Speak, we have team excellency, and being creatively done when we have groups like the Extraordinariness group, which also practices creativity and experimentation. And we And Leadership Speak as as a club, it has a big vision, and you yourself, you can be part of that team and contribute to that big vision. Individual excellency, team excellency, and organizational excellence. I would like you to go out from here into the world and solve those world problems that we have using your creativity as a leader.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gomez, for the thought of the day. I'd like to ask them now that our PR manager please post the awards for the best speaker and the best evaluator for today. And while that's being pulled together, I'm going to thank you for the privilege of being your Toastmaster of the day. It's been an experience for me. I thank you for your cooperation and for your assistance as we have moved through this program. To the speakers, great job, and thank you all so much. And with that, as soon as we see the awards and the presentation, I will take leave of this duty, and I will then relinquish control of this virtual platform back to our president. Mr. President, are you available and ready to take the stage?
Thank you, Vivian.
You're welcome.
So, dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, a very good morning or good evening from wherever you are from the part of the globe. When we think about creativity, you can think about Leadership Speak. What a creative idea to set up a club where you bring members from different parts of the globe on one platform, and now they are all conversing or communicating in this English language. Today, you must have definitely witnessed two of our speakers who are from the French background, and the way they were able to communicate. So I remember when Marie was speaking to me, she had communicated that her success would be if she is able to communicate her idea to all other speakers, because she comes from that French background, or even the audience, sorry. Similarly for me, I mean, when I come from the Indian background, we have that similar accent, from India. And then you hear people from different part of the world, somebody from Canada, UK, US, from the African nations, isn't it? So when you think about creativity, think about this, a club, born out of some idea, new idea, and then it gets accepted, and then there are obviously challenges. So whenever you think about creativity, there would always be challenges, isn't it? So what does it require when you think about creativity? You require a growth mindset. You require to adopt having a risk attitude as well, getting out of your comfort zone, basically. Because if you won't get out of your comfort zone, you might not think about those creative things. So what is important, what you saw in our today's meeting, and every week we are, going through so many challenges of what is leadership all about. And that's what we discover in our every weekly meetings. So kudos to Vivian for trying or taking all those efforts to take up the creativity in a calculated way. And kudos to Aswathy as well for enlightening us on the aspects of creative leadership. What I really feel, that without going and adapt, without even, thinking about or, adapting creativity, Toastmasters clubs are going to be, out of service. With this AI and such things coming into place, I mean, it would really be without being creative, there wouldn't be much need about, this Toastmasters. What's the difference between creativity and innovation? Well, in creativity, you think about those ideas and then you bring those ideas into practice in the world as tangible products or services, and that is the innovation part of it. So I think that, you know, the creative idea got, into a tangible implementation through leadership speak. And that's what I feel whenever you think about creative leadership. It should be about practicing and taking efforts to bring your ideas into results. And that's what Toastmasters, a platform, is definitely going to provide you that environment, safe environment where you come and take those leaps or to experiment. And that's what Leadership Speak stands for. So once again, kudos to all our evaluators and our role players for making our, every week our meetings successful. And that's what Leadership Speak stands for. So I'm really very happy about, the way our Leadership Speak Club goes about, and we keep on progressing and keep on experimenting and coming out with, new ideas as well. So with this, I think, we covered a lot about creativity in our Leadership Speak Club. It's time to talk to the guests. And before we talk to the guests, I would now adjourn this meeting and invite Toastmaster Bram to take over from here and, address our guests so that we understand from them as well how did they like, or what was their experience about our meeting. So Zoom Master, you could please stop recording, and back to you, Toastmaster Bram, for addressing our guests.